Hey there guys, so today we will try out TryHackMe Kenobi. Over here, this is a walkthrough on exploiting a Linux machine. We need to enumerate the soundbar for shares, manipulate a vulnerable version of Pro FTPD and escalate our privilege with path variable manipulation. Okay, so copy the IP. I've performed a port scanning over here already. So we try to answer all these questions over here. We need to scan the machine with nmap. We need to show how many open ports over there. So I performed the port scanning already, and this is the result. The port 21 is FTP, port 22 SSH. Okay, we're just going to count for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So over here, there's 7 port open. So the answer is 7. Now this is an enumeration for soundbar shares over here. So try to skip the part. We perform manual method. We don't need to go through the walkthrough guideline. We use the L to list all the shares first. Okay, we paste IP and then enter. It seems like we can access it anonymously. Over here it shows 3 share name, right? So there's one share name that's quite interesting over here, anonymous. Try to access the anonymous one. Okay, enter, no password there. And we can access it anonymously. Okay, and we found log.txt over there. It's quite interesting, right? Try to get it. Okay, now we get the log.txt. Okay, so this is all the logs over here. It's quite long, right? Seems like nothing much over here. Try to skip it. Just show the share logs on it. Now we try to go back to here to see what are things that it shows over here. So how many shares did we have found? Just now we have scanned, we found how many shares? Found 3 shares just now. If we can go through here, we check out again. 1, 2, 3. Print, anonymous, and IPC. So this one is the printer driver. Okay, once we connected, now we want to list the files on the share. Just now we found the log.txt right over there, and this is the share logs on it. Okay, so now open the files on the share. That's a few interesting thing we can find. Okay, what port is FTP running on? We know it's port 21, right? And then now we want to check and see the other ports. Over here, if you guys can notice that there's a NFS share mounted over here that we can access. So we need to enumerate what are the NFS the share, right, that has been mounted over there. We use show mount E and then the IP for it. Okay, how come I show mount not found? Okay, after we show the mounted directory, we found that the var directory has been mounted on the NFS share. So now we need to mount the NFS share first. How can we do that? We try to create one directory first over here. Like we put ms share var. Okay, now we need to access as a sudo user first. And then we use mount t nfs and then the IP for it. The IP is 182.171, and then this one will be var, and we mount to NFS share host directory. Okay, so we wait for it to mount to our local this NFS share var this directory. So now we have successfully mounted it. We try to check and see what are things that contain in there. Okay, so I've got www. Okay, HTML. Okay, that's our board. Okay, so now we're successfully mounted, right? And then now we want to check and see another thing. We open this one, TryHackMe, Kenobi. Try and see the port scan again. Over here, if you guys can notice that there's one port 21 over here that shows this is Pro FTPD 1.3.5. If we go and search for it, we can find the exploit for it. That's a public exploit, but we abuse the file copy, this one. You can check it out over here. So we abuse this one, the CPFR to copy from and copy to where. So okay, so now we want to check and see how many users first over there. We go back to here and see, and the IP is this IP. We copy this one first. Okay, and then the port is port 21. Now we have connected to the port FTP. So now we want to check and see CPFR etc host, not etc host, etc passwd. Okay, not understood. Okay, 214 CPFR etc passwd, not understood. Okay, so now we're gonna check and see first. Site, yeah, we're gonna put the site first. CPFR etc passwd. Okay, file or directory access ready for destination name. So now we know that what's that called, the NFS share has been mounted on VAR, right? So if you guys know that the Linux file system, right, this is the VAR, so we want to place the one into the VAR there. So how can we do that? Try to place it inside the temp over here. Go into the temp. Okay, this one, we're going to place the etc passwd into the temp. So how can we do that? We put site, okay, and we put cp2 var tmp passwd. Okay, copy successfully. Release again, and we found our passwd. Now we try to read it, and over here we found there's one root user with the share over here, and there's another user which is the Kenobi user, and the home directory is home Kenobi. Okay, so now we want to try to check and see the home Kenobi, right? Inside there, we try and get, like, is there any private key that we can get from there? Not? So how can you do that first? We try and use this method, CPFR, because when we use this one, right, it will show the file or directory exists. If the id.rsa is not found over there, it will show like not found, something like this. So we go here, Kenobi, and normally all the public private key will be stored in .ssh, right? Place id.rsa. Try and see, does it exist or not? And it seems like it exists over there. So okay, now cp2. So put in var tmp id.rsa. Okay, go back to here. Stop on id.rsa. And voila, we just found Kenobi user RSA public private key. So we go back to here, see what are things that we need to do with that. Okay, so it shows that what is the version that Pro FTPD running over there, 1.3.5. How many exploit there for this one running? This one is 3. This one we need to use search exploit. So I can do that. We go back to here. Okay, we just close this one. Since that we just found our private key, right? Just continue the question to answer the questions over there. Okay, so now we go back to here. No, not this one. Okay, try to list this one first. Okay, we get this one, the service name, the version, and then we use search slide. Okay, it shows 3 exploit over here, right? So we go back to here, the number is 3. Okay, so now this one just asks us to copy the Kenobi private key using site CPFR and CPTO. And this one mount, and then we access it over here. Just now we have done everything else already, right? So now we have gotten our IDRSA, the private key, and now we need to access into Kenobi user using the IDRSA private key. So okay, no, not like this. Kenobi, and the IP for it is this IP. Paste IP, right? Okay, we're trying to see. Is there any password for it now? Okay, seems like it doesn't ask us for any password for the private key. And now we are in Kenobi user, and we can read for the user flag. So this is a user flag we can read. So now we need to find a way to privilege escalate to root user. How can we do that? So first of all, try and check out the sudo -l first. And it doesn't have Kenobi user credential, so we ignore about that. Try to find is there any SUID bit set like, that we can exploit to get our root shell. Okay, sbin mount.nfs ping su ping group add sudo menu. Okay, this one quite interesting over here. You copy this one first. Try and check and see what is this. Okay, status check. Okay, seems like this one is running something else over here. Kernel version like this. ifconfig. Okay, so now we just try and check and see the ls -a first. Okay, this one is set. There's a SUID bit set for the user over here, and the user is root. So this manual binary rec has been executed as a root user over here. So now we use string first. Try and check and see the thing inside there. Try and check and see how can it execute the commands. Okay, status check. This one is using a curl, right? The curl command. Okay, kernel version you use uname, and then the ifconfig you use ifconfig. Okay, so now we know that you use curl, right? So try to exploit this one. How can you do that? Okay, where am I? I'm in home Kenobi, right? We try to create our own curl binary, but this one I'm gonna do like this. This one is curl. We name it as curl first. Okay, now we put bin bash -p curl. Okay, chmod plus x curl. Now we have created our own curl binary, but now we know that normally for this one, right, it doesn't shows a full pathway. So you will check and see for this one. If we go to this one, home gonna be bin, check one by one, see where does the binary store over there, right? Like in this case, there's a home gonna be over here, like local bin like this, it shows, and then sbin, you'll find one by one the path. Where does the curl binary store in? So it starts from the first part to the end. So now how can exploit it? Now we know that we are in home Kenobi, right? We place the curl binary in home Kenobi. So now we export it, export the path, equal, we put this one to execute the pwd, which is the home Kenobi, append with the normal path variable binary, path variable value. So now if you check back the path, right, home Kenobi will be in front of you. So now when we execute the not this one, so the binary user bin menu, right, this one will be executed as a root user, and then when we execute this one, the status check, you execute curl binary, right? If it doesn't specify the full path of the curl binary, it will go one by one in the path variable here to find the curl binary, and we store a malicious curl binary over here, so it will execute our malicious curl binary. So we try to check and see, that's it work now, and voila. As you can see, normally just now when we put the normal curl binary, right, it will show the result like http something else, right? So over here it shows root directly because it executes our curl binary, that it will execute the bin bash this command and reserve our privilege. So now we are in root user. We go to the root and we capture our root flag. And this is how we can own Kenobi this machine. So we go back to the question, see that do we answer all the question already or not. Okay, so this one, like it's the Kenobi user flag, we found it. And then what file looks particularly out of the ordinary? This one we find SUIDB, right, which is this one, the hot user bin menu. This one, how many options it appear? It appear 3 options. And then how can we exploit it? This is how we exploit it. So that's how we can own this machine. So that's all for my video. Thanks guys, bye bye.